Good day, and today is the giving of the thanks, in the US at least, but soon it shall spread throughout the entire world! But anyway, cultural imperialism aside, yes, I do find that amusing. I don't really believe the whole concept of cultural imperialism, to be perfectly honest. Well, a piece of my hair just started sticking up. I was that excited at the prospect of conquering the world. But anyway, world conquering aside, today in the US is Thanksgiving. And of course, I just want to say that even if your Thanksgiving isn't as good as it could be, you need to keep things in perspective and appreciate the good things that do exist. And so that being said, ladies and gentlemen, as for good things that exist, as of this recording, I am this close to being finished with Call of Duty 4, and that was weird. In short, the memory card decided to stop working for some reason. I've had that issue with this camera on occasion, which is quite annoying, but then again, this camera, I've used it literally since 2009, and I've used it a lot since then, and yeah, it hasn't really messed up all that much, and I guess it is getting on in years, I suppose. Let's see, I do not know where exactly this file cut off, because it doesn't show me how long the file is in the file manager, so we're just going to assume I got through the intro and started talking about Call of Duty 4. Yes, as of this recording, I'm going to get the last scene for Call of Duty 4 recorded. Literally, it's just a little, it's not really a throwaway scene, it's a transition scene. It's something that you guys probably won't even notice in the review, but it needs to be done. But I got really inspired to do Call of Duty 4. You know, after Wolfenstein 2, I just was like, you know what, I want to get it done, and I was able to get it done really, really quickly. Call of Duty 4, absolutely excellent game, as you guys will see in the review. And I've started really planning 2018's reviews. Now, December, I've already planned as well. The game review for December is going to be Call of Juarez Gunslinger, a fun little, it's not really, it's a very small scale first-person shooter. It's an Old West one. It's a lot of fun, actually. Although the Winchester rifle has some really hilarious animations, I think they just repurposed that from a shotgun. Because it has them loading it like this, when it should be the side gate, but whatever. But December's also going to be showing, not showing, it's also going to be introducing, I should say, the movie reviews that I'm going to start doing. And I used to do some back in the day, not many, but some, and I want to bring them back. And the first movie is going to be Code Red, The Rubicon Conspiracy. And Code Red, The Rubicon Conspiracy is an absolutely excellent 90s made-for-TV movie. Basically, it's Poundland, Alien versus Predator. And in many respects, it's way better than the Alien versus Predator that we actually got. What's funny is some of the characters are actually reminiscent of Alien versus Predator movie version characters. It's actually quite funny. But ultimately, it is a really, really good little low-budget movie. And I'm looking forward to reviewing that. All the movies I'm going to be reviewing are 90s, either made-for-TV movies or otherwise an independent production. It's going to run the gamut from like movies that are really cheesy to movies that are really good but really overlooked. And this is I'm going to try to get 2 movie reviews out per month in 2018. And that's doable because game reviews are much more difficult than a movie review. When I do a game review, there's hours upon hours of gameplay footage that I record. Call of Duty 4 is said to have a really short campaign, but you wouldn't know it from my bloody footage folder. In the footage folder, ladies and gentlemen, there is 4.5 hours of footage recorded. And I've got to sift through all of that when I edit the review. With a movie, a lot of these movies are like 90 minutes long, so that's nothing compared to that. And I don't have to play a game, all I got to do is watch a movie, and so that doesn't take anywhere near as long. So the movies for next year that I have planned, it's 8. It's going to be Code Red, well actually Code Red, The Rubicon Conspiracy is this year. It's going to be, and I got to try to get the order right. Okay, it's going to be, not Reptilicus, Reptilian, that's the one. Also known as Yongari. It's an absolutely glorious giant monster movie. It is hilariously good. It's cheesy, but it's the right kind of cheesy. It's a very fun movie. I loved it as a kid. I've kind of watched through a couple of clips of it recently. It's just as good as I remember. I mean, the acting is just the stuff of legends. Then I'm going to be reviewing Gargantua. It's another giant monster movie from the 90s. It's really good, too. It's got an evil Australian. He wants to capture... I almost called him Yongari. He wants to capture Gargantua and put him in a zoo, I think. I don't remember the exact plot. I got to rewatch it, but it was something like that. Then we got Screamers. Screamers is based on a short story by, I think, Philip K. Dick. I can't remember. I did read the short story, though. The short story is called The Second Variety. I was reading a book of sci-fi short stories, and I was reading, like, wait a minute, this sounds a lot like a movie I saw. And then I realized, oh, it is the movie. There is one major difference between the short story and the movie. The movie is set on another planet. The short story is set on Earth after the Cold War went hot and everybody died. The movie's really good. It's got Peter Weller in it, and anything Peter Weller's in has got to be good. Don't hold me to that. I'm pretty sure he's been in some crap. But that movie was good. It was a lot of fun. It had a guy in it who I swear looked like a non-Hugh Jackman Wolverine. Like, he really reminded me of Wolverine. Let's see what else we got. Because there was 5 initially that I wanted to do. I always forget that last one. So we got oh yeah, Beowulf. That's the one. Beowulf. That is a post-apocalyptic sci-fi movie with Christopher Lambert. And Christopher Lambert in it is actually not too bad. But watching through a couple clips, he looks an awful like Geralt from the Witcher series. And he's fighting a monster, so basically in the review could be talking about, wait a minute, okay, so now we're watching Witcher, starring Christopher Lambert. That'd actually be pretty cool. Then, of course, there's going to be 2 reviews of... I might actually push that to a third, now that I think of it. Recently, I've seen 3 independent Netflix movies that were actually pretty good. They were very reminiscent of those old movies from the 90s. Kill Command. The acting in it is the stuff of legends. It's basically soldiers versus robots. Pretty good movie. Very reminiscent of something you'd catch on late night cable. Spectral. I've not seen that yet, but my grandfather has, and he thought it was pretty okay. It's another one of those, something you'd see on late night cable. It's soldiers versus ghosts. It actually has the guy who played Captain Pike in the new Treks. And then, last but not least, Pandemic. I have seen that one, and that is just... think of Left 4 Dead, but a movie. It's a first-person camera kind of thing, and they gotta fight the zombies. It's actually pretty good. It's got a really depressing ending, though. But still, though, it's another one of those late-night cable things. So I intend to review those next year. The game reviews, though, are going to start with Crisis. I'm going to be going through Crisis, the entire series. So I got to review Crisis 1, Warhead, 2, and 3. Pretty much all the Crisis games are pretty good. Crisis 2, I think, is the weakest entry in the series. Crisis 3, while shorter than Crisis 2, is actually a lot better in terms of character, because Prophet really does come into his own in that game. And one thing I really loved about Crisis 3, it's a bit of a spoiler, but yeah, it's Crisis 3. Who's really going to be like, you spoiled me on the plot, General? It's where Prophet, his nanosuit turns into his body. So he can go to maximum strength without having a suit on, which I thought was really cool. I'd like to be able to do that maximum strength. Blah! Which sound just like that too. But yeah, there's going to be one game review per month, because that takes forever to do now, because the new reviews are really, really low. Well, see, they're not really new. I've actually gone back to my older style of reviewing, where I'll review the game from start to finish instead of just, reviewing a little bit of the game. Back in the day, I had so much more time than I do today, because I was still in college at the time. I went to a real college, goddammit! Sam Houston State, for the win! But that being said, I go through the entire game now, versus what I had been doing for a while. But it just takes a lot longer. So, Crisis 1 and Warhead is really funny, though. You want to feel old? Games that when you were in college are now too old to be run on some modern machines. For example, my copy of Crisis didn't run. Copy of Crisis Warhead that I got on Steam didn't run. I had to get on GOG. Both ran. But that's just sad. It's like, where has my youth gone? Well, actually, technically it's still here, but whatever. Also, Doom 3 has a source port. I haven't used it yet, but that's scary. That's just scary. You're getting old, John. You're getting old. Bullshit. All right, let's see what else we got. I am going to try to get to that Desert Storm game that someone recommended to me in 2018 as well. I'm just not sure what month that's going to be. Because I actually had some more interest in Desert Storm and the Iraq War. I've actually started reading a really good history book on the Iraq War. You know, one of the things that is always annoying today is there's so much rhetoric, so much exaggeration on everything that happens, and trying to find the truth is so difficult, you know? And the history book I'm reading is by John Keegan. John Keegan's dead, so sadly he's not writing anymore. But he does write really, really in-depth history books that read very well. They're not just dry tomes. They actually do explain what's going on. And they explain it without getting into a lot of rhetoric. They're not like, oh, America bad, or something like that. It's like, here's what happened, you know, make up your own mind. Which I really, really prefer. So often today it's like, here's what I believe, and everyone must believe it. I just hate that. Really, when it comes to life, you gotta take a nuanced perspective. You gotta, you know, you can't just slot into one viewpoint or another. You need to be able to think about everything. You know, you just don't want to close your mind off to different avenues of thought and things of that nature. So moving on from that, we're now going to talk about something really, really cool. There's going to be a review in 2018 of this, the Star Model B M. Now, I know BM is supposed to stand for something. I don't want to know. I'm not even going to look at the comments because I don't want to know. All I know is it's something bad. The only reason I know it's something bad is in a blog post on this particular pistol, someone said that it was an unfortunate name, and I remember a comedian years and years ago saying that, but I don't remember what it is, and I don't want to know what it is. Don't tell me what it is. I want to remain innocent of any disgustingness. But yes, ladies and gentlemen, this is a... Yes, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, ladies... Ugh, my brain is skipping around. The first thing that goes is the memory. But anyway, yeah, Star Model B M. That's the way you say it. That way, if anybody wants to like, hey, it means this, just go, it's a Star Model B M, or dash M, or comma M. Is a little 1911, more or less, 9mm pistol. Absolutely excellent. I actually was informed of this by a review done by Mr. Guns and Gear. Mr. Guns and Gear reviewed this, and I was like, wait, this exists! He said it was on J&G sales, and I went over there, and yeah, they had it. It's not as cheap as a lot of the YouTube gun reviewers will say it is. They neglect to tell you about all the various fees and things of that nature. They'll say, like, it's only $229. It's not $229. This example is a hand select. Basically, when you order these, you can pay an extra $20, and they'll find one that looks really, really good, you know, and mechanically it functions and everything. I guess I should show you that it's not loaded, but really, if it was loaded, how would you know? And if, like, there was a negligent discharge, couldn't I just edit that out? But anyway, yeah. You want to get hand select. So if you do hand select, extra $20. So now it's $249. If you want a second magazine, and believe me, you want a second magazine, because if you don't get the second magazine in the same purchase, buying a second magazine off of like eBay is going to cost you $40. A second magazine with the same purchase is $20, so you save $20. So now it's $269. Now I could just leave it at that, right? But then come the fees, ladies and gentlemen. You gotta pay them fees. There's a $27 shipping fee. So now it's $296. But that's not all. Now, for those who don't know anything about guns, just because I order this online, that doesn't mean it's going to show up at my house. Even if I had a CNR license, which I don't, this couldn't be shipped CNR. CNR stands for Curio and Relic. Certain guns that are really, really old, if you have a license, a CNR license, you can have it shipped to your home. No FFL at all. But this isn't CNR. This was manufactured from the 1970s all the way to the early 90s. So you have to have the ship to an FFL dealer. It's like a gun range, a pawn shop, something like that. And you have to pay that pawn shop or that gun range a certain amount of money. I can get it pretty cheap. It's $25. But still, though, that's a little more expensive than $229. So when this got into my hands, I had to pay, roughly $320. Still, though, a very good price for something of this quality. This thing is heavy. Every gun reviewer talks about it being heavy, and it is. Holding it up like this, yeah, it's kind of heavy. But I would not say it's like a stone weight just in my hands. It's very well balanced because of its weight, and it makes the 9mm Parabellum cartridge that much more controllable. This is a very sweet shooting pistol. I've only shot it once, which is why I'm not doing a review anytime soon, because I want to get a little more trigger time. The first time I shot it at 25 yards. I got 2 bullet holes touching at the bullseye at 25. I was very pleased with that. I mean, this is just an excellent pistol all around. The trigger is just a delight. The whole function of it, and just listen to that. Look at how smooth that slide is. It's like smooth as bloody silk. And one of the most necessary modifications of this is the removal of the magazine safety. Really, you don't need it, and it's very easy to remove. There's plenty of YouTube videos on how to remove it. That's how I learned how to remove it. Gotta love YouTube. So yeah, you can get new grips for these as well, and the grips are not all that expensive. These plastic grips aren't bad, but the new grips, you can pay anywhere from $30 to $80 for them. I'm gonna buy the $30 grips, and they're gonna show up in the review. You can get nice wood grips. These plastic ones aren't bad. They look okay, but having some nice wood grips is good as well. You could even, if you wanted to, Duke Nukemerize this pistol by getting some, they're not pearl, but they're a polymer that looks like pearl. You can get some pearl handled grips. Look like old Duke. But this is a really, really cool pistol. People like to complain about the sights. I did not find the sights hard to use at all, and I've got bad eyesight. I don't have really meaty hands, but I don't really have small hands either, and I didn't actually get any hammer bite, like, at all. And overall, for $325, after all the fees and all the things, this is a great pistol. Like, if this was your first pistol, this would be excellent. 9mm is cheap, the recoil is almost non-existent, and it's just a great pistol overall. I mean, I've never had a 1911 until now, and, well, this is a 1911 more or less. Never had a 1911 more or less pistol until now. I've shot them, but this, you know, it was well worth the $300. I gotta say, it's a very beautiful pistol. You know, it's a very nice deep bluing on it. Great all around. All right, ladies and gentlemen. Well, that is the update vlog for November, whatever the day, November Thanksgiving. And so I am GeneralLotz, wishing you good. Star Model B, M. And good, Star Model B, that is a thing, or whatever, makes you happy.